These are the four questions that is there, right? We discussed first question in last class, and these three questions we had not discussed. What I have done is I have actually I did all these three questions in my dashboard. So there are few changes in this, like although the data sets and everything is same, but in a few data sets I have made some changes that is there in the question. But that this is something that is using the statistical tool. uh, we need to see if the values are matching or not, so this will not impact any of the data set, not add any of the columns or anything. This is just for the practice, the third question, so we are good. What additional we will be having is I have created one column in the second question. I have created one column which is skew type, and actually followed the instruction over here, and then updated discount price by 15% and replaced zero. So there are few things that minor things has been added or subtracted from one, like two tables. One is customer table, I guess. In the fourth question, in customer table, I have added one birth date and added one conditional column, two columns. And in product table, I have actually added one column which is called SKU type, and for two columns, which is product style and discount price, I have actually uh, updated a few things over here that is mentioned in the question. So those changes are applied in this dashboard. So for me, I have done that. I will discuss those questions once you guys have, like, will complete till here, and then because that will not hamper our next like today's session will be mostly regarding the creating table relationship and data modeling. So we are almost done with the data shaping and connecting the data, those things. Now we will be talking about relationship and data models. All these questions that are there that you see, right, these are the questions that we had already discussed in the class. This is just for practice, so I think you guys will be able to do it on your own. Once you guys have it, you have done it, uh, then we will discuss it, right? Or you can ask me questions, then I'll discuss that. Okay, so for today, we will be now we are out of query editor, right? This is what we have. We have how many? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. In total, seven data sets, right? And the same data sets you can see in here in your data view. So these are the seven data sets. Now, mostly what we will do is we will go to model view, and then today we will work on this modeling view, like how to create table relationship, what is, like, what do you understand by data normalization, and all those concepts, important concepts, right? So first and foremost, what is a data model? Right? When somebody asks you, what do you understand by data model? Uh, so basically, what is a data model? It is a model in which tables are connected via relationships based on common product key, right? So let's say in our case, what do we have? We have sales data, and then we have various lookup tables, right? Like product lookup, customer lookup. So what we will do, we will connect this table, sales table, with product lookup, customer lookup, calendar lookup, and all these, right? So what will happen, like, we are creating relationship between tables, between data tables or fact table with lookup table, right? And how we will create relationship based on some common key in both the tables, right? So this entire thing that we do, right, this is called a model, and this is a data model. Why? Because in this modeling view, what we are doing, we are creating a relationship between tables with common product key, right? So uh, now what will happen is, let's say right now there is no relationship between these tables, right? So what I'll do, I will I from the sales table, I will pull a product key. Let's say Let me actually create a matrix and pull product key, okay, from sales table. So I have product key, not in values, let's say in rows. Okay. Then I'll pull order quantity. Okay. Let me order quantity. Okay. Then what I'll do is from product category, not product category, product lookup, I'll pull product name. Okay. Oh, okay. It's telling me to create relationships, right? So, okay. For now, let it be product key and order quantity, right? So what is happening is you see there is something called 214 and then I have order quantity, which means like product 214 has been sold, like the total quantity has been sold is 2019, right? I want to create one more table in which I will have product name. Let me pull product name over here, and then I will pull from sales table, I'll pull product order quantity. Yeah. Okay, so I have two tables over here. Okay, what I'm trying to show, I'll tell you. So what I have done is the first table I have created it from sales data, right? And the first thing you will see is uh, if I select any of the visualization, right? Let's say the first visualization, what it will do, it will highlight whichever column is selected. So if you select the visualization and look at the right side, uh, you will see that there are or whichever column has been pulled in the visualization, that will be highlighted, and the table also will be highlighted. So in this case, since we have not used any other table, we have just used sales table, you see there is a yellow tick over here. That means the columns or fields have been pulled from this table, and which all fields have been pulled, that will also be having like the yellow color. So that means that these two columns have been pulled, right? So for this visualization, what all we have pulled? We have pulled product key and order quantity, right? So in this case, you see that it is showing correct that in total 84174 quantity has been sold, right? And uh, for each of these products, the number of quantity that has been sold. So this table looks correct, right? The second table, what I have done is I have pulled product name. See, this one is highlighted product lookup, which means I have taken product name from product lookup table. You see, this one is highlighted. So from product lookup, I have taken product name, and from sales table, I have taken order quantity. So what we are seeing over here, we are seeing that in total we have 84174, which is correct. But what has happened is for each of these product, uh, we are getting the same number 84174, 84174, like this. So this is not making sense, right? This is something looking weird and the numbers is not correct. So what has happened here? Why the number is not correct? Because the product table, right now the product lookup table has no idea that there is something called a sales table that exists. Why? Because we have not created a relationship yet in any of the table. So these tables at the top has no idea that other table exists, or this table has no idea that any tables which is product table or customer lookup table or territory lookup table, any such kind of table exist, right? So that's why when we pull like product name from product lookup and order quantity from sales table, they both since there is no relationship between both the tables, we see that the same number is repeating, right? So in this case, this is not correct. Now what we will do, uh, let's say, first I'll talk about a few concept, and then we will start creating the relationship, right? So the first concept is called data normalization, right? So what is normalization? So till now, are you clear? Before I start with the other concept, like, do you understand what has happened over here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so no questions from you guys, right? Or any question do you have?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so on the visualization, so you put it, what we can put in row and what we can put in column and what we can put in value. So they have three options.
Okay, got it. So let's say the first one, first visualization in which we have rows, columns, and values, right? So what do we put in rows? In rows, we will put whichever. So let's say I want to look for each of the product, what is the order, what is the quantity that has been sold, right? So always whichever numeric value you have, right? You have order quantity, or let's say in some case you will have sales data. So all the numeric quantity that you will have, that you will put under values, right? Because under values, what will happen when any of the field which you can aggregate, basically, right? By aggregation I mean count, sum, average, any of these kind of things that you can apply on a particular field, those field you will pull under values always, right? And any of the field which is a either product key or any characteristics field like product name, product color, or anything that you can pull either in rows or in columns, right? I could have pulled product key under columns also, but in that case, what kind of visualization it will have? See, it will come like this. So basically, what will happen? Those product key 214, 200, these are the product key, right? It will come as in column. So this visualization is very weird because we can't extend this till end, right? So this will be going towards right. So this is not, this doesn't look correct, right? So hence we have pulled product key under rows, but we could have put this product key either under rows or under columns, right? So any uh, id which is uh, basically showing the characteristics, or basically is id or name or color or any that kind of thing, like basically coming from lookup table, basis on which you want to see how many numbers n- has been sold, or what is the total quantity, what is the average quantity, what is the average sales, or any of those kind. So those columns will come under rows or columns, and the values, under values you will see whichever column you want to aggregate or see the total numbers, that you will put under values. Am I clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Do you guys have any more questions? Okay, I'll take that as no. So I think then we are good. So now I will talk about what is database normalization, right? So normalization, basically normalization is a process of organizing table and column in a database or relational database to reduce redundancy and preserve data integrity. So these all are very uh, difficult terms, that is like very heavy terms, which is not easy to understand. So what I will do, I'll show this particular slide to you guys, so then it will be easier for you guys to understand, right? So right now in this table, this is something that we have discussed earlier also, but this is called database normalization, we have not discussed, right? So this is a dummy data set that I have created, no relation with the current AW tables that we are doing, adventure work tables. This is a sample, this is a like dummy numbers that I have created for for making you guys understand the database normalization concept, right? So what all we have here is, we have date field, we have product ID, quantity, product brand, product name, product SKU, and product weight, right? So under date we have various dates, right? 1st January 2022, second 1st uh, July 2022, likewise, right? Or maybe you can read it like other way around, 1st January 2022, 7th January 2022, 3rd January 2022, like that, right? Now I have product ID. So the first column, if you see, first row, if you see, what we are showing is on 1st January 2022, product with ID 88 has been sold 5 in numbers, and these are the basically product details, right? So 80 product with ID 88 is basically having brand national, and product name is grapefruit roll, and this is the SKU, and this is the weight, right? So since the second in the second row you see the date is 7th January 2022 and product ID is 88 and quantity is 2. What does it tells me? It tells me that the same product has been sold on 7th January 2022 and the quantity sold was 2. And then again you will see from in the right side, since the product ID is 88, that means the which particular product has been sold, which is national grapefruit rule, product SKU, product weight, right? So basically what is happening is, in this table we have two different things, right? The first three columns represent that which all product has been sold on which date and what is the quantity, right? And the right side, which is product brand, product name, product SKU, and product weight, is basically describing or having all the columns which will help you understand which product has been sold, right? So what is happening over here is, since same product is sold twice, in this case, in this example, I see this is repeating twice in both the rows, right? So similarly for this one, first 2022 25, these two rows, right? Since same product has been sold on 1st January and 6th January, different quantity 3 and 2, the same right side, the four columns, same values are repeating twice, right? So what this is basically, uh, this is creating redundant data, right? Because the same data is repeating in each of the column. And let's imagine that this product has been sold like all the 12 months, and in each month, let's say 10 times or so, right? So how many? 120 times. So this information will repeat 120 times, right? And let's say you are dealing with millions of data in which it is repeating millions of times, like thousands of times. So this is like not the correct way to do, because this four columns will keep on repeating as many times as the number of product ID will be sold, right, on different dates. So this is what is basically data redundancy, and we don't want this, right? So the process in which we will have, so what we will do, the best way is, we will have like two different data sets that we have done in our case, right? We have created lookup table separate, lookup table by lookup table, which means we will have individual, like in lookup table we will have only once this particular information. So what we will have in lookup table, we will have one product ID and then attached characteristics of that product, right? Then we will have product ID 2 and characteristics of that product. So what will happen? We will have only one instance of each of the product ID in lookup table, right? And in the sales table, we will have date, product ID and quantity, the number of times it has been sold. So in that way, what will happen is there will be no data redundancy in any of the table, and in that way we will simplify queries also. So the process of basically creating tables and columns in such a way that we reduce redundancy is called normalization. It is just a concept, you don't have to do anything. Like let's say in some interview or somewhere they will ask like what is data normalization, so you just have to tell like I have demonstrated this so that you understand what is happening. So basically this is something that we don't want, right? This is creating duplicate data in this case, and it will repeat multiple times if we will have like let's say more number of data in some case, right? So database normalization is basically a process, okay, in which we create or organize tables and columns in a database, relational database, to reduce data redundancy, right? And in our case we have lookup table separate, sales table separate. So we have created our data sets in such a way that there won't be any data redundancy, right? So we are good with that part, right? And and now like I will just quickly touch base upon what is lookup and what is fact table or data table. So in data table, whichever like we will have numbers or values. So you will have ID or key to create relationship with lookup table. And what is lookup table? Lookup table is basically table in which will provide you descriptive or text based attributes. Like you will get the characteristics of each of these columns in the table, right? Let's say in this case I want to see what is the product, like product description, right? Everything I want to know about product, so I'll get from the product lookup. Why? Because I'll get product color, product cost, product price, product name, product SKU type, product style, everything about the product, right? So this will act as a product lookup table. So lookup table is always text, have text, like basically describe the characteristics of your data set, and it will have mostly your text based attributes, right? And the fact table or data table will have mostly the numerical values, or you will have IDs in which you can connect this fact table with the lookup table on the basis of that ID. Let's say customer key. So customer key is a ID in sales table which will help you connect this sales table with the customer lookup, right? Because how you will connect this sales table with customer lookup basis on this customer key. So you have that ID or key available in the sales table to create relationship with the other lookup tables, right? So that is the difference between data table and lookup tables, right? And yeah, so right now we have discussed two things. One is database normalization, and second thing is data table and lookup table. So data table and lookup table, I think you guys will be clear, right? Because this is something we have discussed earlier also. Lookup table is something where you will get the characteristics of each of the dimension, and sales table is where you will get the numerical values. Okay. And database normalization, just don't get confused. I just wanted to cover database normalization is a process in which we create tables in such a way that there is no data redundancy, right? So this is a exact approach in which we need to solve the problem, right? So any questions till now? Any questions you guys have? Are you, are you guys there? Or you guys
Yeah,
went
yeah,
somewhere?
from me. Uh,
Okay. Okay, so City
Uh,
and then no questions?
a little confused about the normalization. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
so we have to create a table, and then
You don't have to create a table. Database normalization is just a concept. You don't have to do anything here. So I think don't get
what
confused
is
with
the
the
purpose
database.
of it? Like, what are we gonna like? What's the relation with this?
See,
data modeling.
okay. With data modeling, what is the relation? I'll tell you. This database normalization we have discussed is just because we wanted to tell that the correct approach is to create lookup table separate and sales table separate in any of while solving any of the problem. Always have lookup table separate and sales table separate. Otherwise, what will happen if you will have all the things in one table? Then this problem will occur wherein you will have like multiple rows of the multiple rows of the same thing repeating, which will create data redundancy, right? So create your model in such a way that you have your data fact table separate and lookup table separate. That's it. If you will not have that, uh, and having fact table and lookup table separate is called database normalization.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
All
So
right.
if you will not have this separate, then you
So
will have like one table, everything in one table, then there will be data redundancy. So to eliminate those things, data redundancy, we create model in such a way that we have lookup table separate, sales table separate, and the way we create this the way we create this model, right, in which we have fact table or data table and lookup table separate is called database normalization.
okay, it's just a concept.
This is
Okay.
just a concept. We don't have to do anything here.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Wait a
Any
minute.
more?
What do you mean we don't have to do anything? So you do have to create the lookup table and then
We already have
um,
lookup table here, right? So this modeling or this view that we have created in the modeling tab, modeling view, the tables we have created is in such a way that we have lookup table separate and data table separate. So we already have taken care of not having one table in which there will be data redundancy, right? So I'm telling that having lookup table and fact table or data table separate is called database normalization, which we have already done.
right. No, when you just told her that it's just a concept. It's not just a concept. That you have to apply the concept by creating the lookup table versus and from the actual data table, and that's really how we normalize the data. So right or the
Exactly, exactly. So basically, normalization is something which we, so that is a concept, right? Database normalization is a concept in which you create lookup table and data table separate, right? So whenever you will have like this entire thing, the process is called normalization. Normalization is not, lookup table is not normalization, sales table is not normalization. The way that we create this database, right, the way in which we have separate fact table, separate lookup table and all these is called database normalization. That process is called database normalization, right?
Mhm.
Da- and and how we will achieve that database normalization is by creating lookup table and fact table separate. Am I clear?
Yes.
You're clear. I just didn't understand when you said it's just a concept. So I said, well, the concept is there, but you do have to apply it by creating the lookup
Yeah,
table.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
I,
To achieve
I
that,
get it now.
to normalize your database, you have to do that, right?
Yeah.
You have to have separate lookup table and separate sales table, right? So normalization is a process in which you create lookup table separate and sales table separate so that there is no data redundancy.
Yep. I get it. Thanks.
Okay, no
Now,
problem.
if you could just, I know it's going back to a concept that you've already covered, but um, the data table versus the lookup table. So
Mm-hmm,
when we create the lookup table, we're just putting in most of the text or
mm-hmm,
no number attributions, right?
mm-hmm.
No number attributes and nothing, no number values, just text values, right? And then anything that's related to numbers like numerical values and such, we will keep it under the data table.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so now we have covered all the concept, right? So now what I will do is I will start creating a relationship between the tables, right? So there are two ways in which you can create relationship between any of the tables. First thing is you can click on, let's say I want to create a relationship between sales table and product lookup table, right? So what, how we will create relationship between sales and product lookup? I look for the key, right, on which I will join these, right? So now there is one more concept, which is primary key and foreign key, right? So what is primary key and what is foreign key? Primary key is something which is unique in any of the tables, right? Like that will uniquely identify the individual rows. So in product lookup, product key is a column which will be unique, like which will have values which will uniquely define each of the rows. So so for product lookup, product key is primary key, right? And the same product key I'll have in sales table also, right? Here, sales table. But in here, what will happen is it will not be unique, it will repeat itself. Why? Because it can happen that same product has been sold multiple times in multiple dates, right? So this product key will be repetitive, it will not be unique in sales table. So the same column product key will act as foreign key for sales table, and the same column product key will be uh, will act as primary key for product lookup, since it will have unique values in product lookup, right? So basically, what is primary key and what is foreign key? Primary key is something which will uniquely identify, or which will which will be unique in any of the table, and foreign key is something which will help you create relationship with other table and will have multiple instance in the same table. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone? Okay.
Yes.
Aklilu, are you understanding?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So now I know that if I want to create relationship between product lookup and sales table, right? The common key is product key, which I have it here also, or here and here also in sales table, right? I'll have this like this. So now there are two ways in which we can create relationship. First is I can, let's say I want to create relationship between product lookup and sales lookup, and I know that product key is the common field in both the table. So I'll click this product key, hold that, and drag it and drop it on this product key, right? So what will happen? It will create a relationship. This is one way, right? What is the other way? I'll delete this. Let me delete this. The other way is I can go into manage relationship at the top in the home tab, right? You see here my cursor. I will click on this, and then in this pane what you see, there is something called auto detect, which will automatically detect all the relationships, right? So you remember initially, as soon as we used to pull any of the data set, it used to create a relationship on its own. So they basically Power BI, what it does is it auto detects the relationship based on the columns, or like based on the understanding or the data type that it has. But if you want to create all the relationship on your own, so what we did is we had removed all the relationship from the tables, right? So don't worry about auto detect. We will always create relationship on our own, so that like we know that which column we need to connect with the other table, and like we know everything about the relationship and how it is working. So I'll go to new. I will select product lookup, sorry,
I have a
product AW.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So why wouldn't you want the auto detect? For the
because
relationship. Isn't that
yeah,
easier?
no, that is not easier. That is easier, but that is not the correct way. Why? I'll tell. Let's say here only. Okay, let's say I have stock date and order date, right? Let's say I want to connect sales data with calendar lookup, right?
Mhm.
Now, on which particular column I want to connect, right? I have two dates, order date and stock date, right?
Mhm.
I can create relationship with calendar lookup based on order date connecting with the date column in the calendar lookup, or stock date with the date column, right? Now
Mhm.
it's on us which column we need to pick, and I have better understanding of the, if I have better understanding of data, I know like which column is the correct column to basically create a relationship, right? In auto detect, what it will does, it will automatically take any of the column. Let's say it created relationship using stock date based on whatever like backend process happens, right? but but that is not correct in this case, because I have two date field. I could have used ordered date is the correct according to me. So in many of the cases, what happens, it will create a relationship which will, like, from backend it will look like it is having correct relationship, but it will not solve the purpose whatever we are looking for, right? So in the case, if you have all the understanding of the data and you know which column is the uh, primary key for this table and foreign key for the other table, or I know like which column I need to create relationship, it is always better to create relationship on your own to avoid any like mismatch, or like not the correct relationship that has been already done, right? In the case you are not very sure like what to do and how to do, and just take a reference, you can do auto detect and then see, okay, is this making sense or not. But if you are well aware about the data and everything, it's better to create relationship on your own. That is always better, right?
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Now, but the auto detect, does it actually create the relationship based off of the primary key and stuff?
Yeah, all the concept and
Okay.
everything it will do on like the same. But in the case like just now we discussed, in the multi
Yeah,
in
no,
the
that makes
case,
sense.
yeah, so it will randomly create relationship, and then that will not be correct, right? So that's why.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. So now the other way to create relationship is click on the manage relationship from the home tab that you see at the top. So as soon as I click manage relationship, I see there is something called auto detect and new. So we'll not worry about the auto detect. We will go on new and create relationship on our own. So as soon as I hit a new, can select two tables here. First is product lookup, AW product lookup, and the second table is sales table, right? AW sales. So see, it has automatically highlighted product key in both the tables, because that is the only key which is common in both the tables, right? So if it has not highlighted, you can select product key on your own also, like, right? So that is how you will select both the common columns. And then cardinality, always make sure that it's one to many cardinality. Why one to many? Because I know that in product lookup we have one instance for each of these key, and in sales table it is repeating 360. You see it's coming multiple times, because that makes sense, like same product can be sold on multiple dates, right? So that's why it's repeating. So that's why we have many one to many cardinality. So always make sure that whenever you create relationships, have one to many cardinality, right? And the cross filter direction is single. I'll talk about this later more, but for now we will keep it as single, right? And make this relationship active. So this relationship is active right now. I'll talk about this also maybe in some time. So this is how we have created relationship, and I'll hit OK, right? So as soon as you hit OK, what it will show here is this relationship is active. This will be ticked. And what is the relationship we have created? We have created relationship between product lookup table, the table name you will see, and what is the column product key. To which table we have created relationship? We have created relationship to sales table, and the common key is product key. So looks correct, and we will close this page. So as soon as you close, they will create a relationship like this, right? And once you hover over this one, it will highlight whichever column has been selected to create relationships. So you see in the product lookup also you have product key highlighted, and in sales table also you have product key highlighted, right? So that is the relationship that we wanted to create. And at the top here you can see one written, and here you can see star. So one means one instance of product key in this table, and star means multiple instance of product key in sales table, right? So that's how we have created relationship. So there are two ways that we discuss, right? One is you can the long approach is you can go to manage relationship and then do select everything. The other thing is you could have directly clicked on this product key and dragged it and dropped it on the product key in the sales table, and that is how you can create relationship, right? So this is one of the relationship that is there. The similar way we can create relationship between customer, sales, and all the other tables, right? So for customer lookup, creating relationship between customer lookup and sales lookup, the common key is customer key. So what I will do, I will select and drag it over here under sales lookup, customer key column. So as soon as I do that, it will create a relationship between these two table. And you see the again this is one to many relationship, right? The cardinality is one to many. So uh, any questions till now?
So far, no questions for me.
Okay. City, Aklilu.
No question on that.
Okay, so then we are good. We will quickly create relationship with calendar lookup and other tables also. So right now I will create relationship between calendar lookup and sales lookup based on order date and date. So I will drag and drop this one. You can do both ways. Like if you want to do through managed relationship, we have just created the first relationship, right? Basis on managed, that thing also you can do. But this is like very quick and fast, right? You just have to click, drag and drop. So it's better to try doing this, and then you will feel comfortable doing this also, right? So calendar lookup and sales is connected. Now we will connect it with territory lookup, right? So we have common key with territory lookup as territory key, and here we have sales territory key. So I will drag and drop it here. Again, it is one too many, right? Now, let me actually pull this here and rearrange this. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. But for now, I have rearranged these tables a little bit. Since I had here, I have product lookup, product category, and product subcategory, right? So all the three tables connected to product. So that's why I dragged product lookup table over here, right? Now, if you let's say okay, now one thing. As soon you remember earlier we had this product name and order quantity, and 84174 was repeating here continuously, right? When we had not created the relationship. See, as soon as you created the relationship between product lookup and sales table, the numbers here are looking correct, right? And the total is 84174, and it's showing the correct order quantity with the product. So that means we are good, right? Now, there is one thing which is called okay. Now, if you want to create product relationship between product category and sales table, will you be able to do it? No, because you don't have common key. So if you see under product category, what all fields you have category name and product category key, right? And under this one, if you see under sales table, okay. Okay, this is all we have. These are the columns. So we don't have any category name or product category key over here, right? So we can't directly make relationship between product category and sales table because we don't have any common key in both the tables, right? So what we can do in such case, we can create relationship between product lookup and product category, right? Let me quickly check. So again, here product subcategory and product category also is not here. So what we will do, we will create relationship between product lookup and product subcategory first. And then in product subcategory, you see we have product category key. And then we will connect product subcategory with product category, right? Why? Because we don't have common key uh, between product category and product lookup also, but we do have common key between product subcategory and product category. So what we can do is we can connect product subcategory with product category and product subcategory with product lookup and product lookup with sales. So in that way, what will happen, all these four tables will be connected, right? So right now what I will do, I will connect product lookup with product subcategory on product subcategory key, right? So that has been created one to many like this. Why? Because we have one unique instance of subcategory in this table, and we will have multiple instance of subcategory in product lookup. So that's why star you see in here and one you will see in below this table, right? Again, similarly, we will create relationship between product subcategory and product category basis on product category field. I will drag and drop, and you have one and many here, because product category key will be unique in this table and product category will be repeating here in this table, right? So that's how we have created the entire relationship. So any questions till now?
So here,
Yeah, go ahead.
when we create relationship, we have to create the relation with the data table with the original table, not the lookup table. Like,
Yeah, so basically what we have done is we wanted to create relationship between each of these tables, right? So the whenever we will create relationship, what we will do is we will create relationship between fact table or data table with lookup table, right? So in all of the cases, if you see here, uh, we have created relationship between sales table and individual lookup table. But in the last case, wherein we have product lookup, product subcategory, and product category, we don't have common key between subcategory and sales table, category and sales table. In that case, what we can do is we can create relationship between the lookup tables, and one lookup table is connected with sales table. In that way, this sales table is connected with all the three tables, because we can filter the sales table basis on any of these, since all these three are connected now. But at the end, while creating relationship, the end goal is to create a relationship in such a way that data table is connected with all the uh, dimension, like lookup table, right?
data table, you mean?
Data table, by data table I mean this sales table, data table or fact table, you can say. So the relationship should be created in such a way that this fact table or data table is connected with all the lookup tables, right? Either it can be direct or it can be through a chain of relationships, if there is no direct relationship between fact and lookup table. Is
I
it
think
clear?
yes.
Okay. Any more questions?
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Here the one to many relationship versus one to one. That part is a little bit confusing to me. I don't know if
Hmm.
you can just kind of go over that. Like, yeah,
Okay, sure. I can do
I
that.
got it.
Yeah. So everywhere, if you see, we like as soon as we create a relationship, like we drag and drop, it will automatically show you one to many, right? Like we are not selecting anything, it is automatically showing me one to many. Why it's showing me one
The
to many
star
is something
represents
we can
many.
discuss, right? Sorry.
The star represents the many relationship. Is that what that is?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Star means many and one means one, right? So every time you create relationship, it will show you one to many. Like in this case, at least it's showing one to many, right? Automatically. Why it's showing one to many? What does it mean? What does it mean is, as let's say you hover on this one. So you have product category key highlighted in both the tables, in AW product category table and AW product subcategory table, right? Now towards right side in AW product category table, if you see, you have product category key and you have one written over here, which means that product category key is unique in product category table. Like category key won't repeat, it will be unique, and that's why it's written one over here, right? But in the case of product subcategory left side table, in which product category key is selected, highlighted in this case, you see star over, like just at the top
Mhm,
of that table. That
mhm.
star means that product category will be having duplicate values in this table, like it will be repeating. Why it will be repeating? Because since this is a subcategory table, so it may happen, right, that under one category there are four subcategories, right? So those category will repeat four times because we have four subcategory under that. Because this table is subcategory lookup, category will repeat, although subcategory will be unique, but category will repeat in this table, and hence we have star over here. That means I am connecting product category from product category table to product category key in product subcategory table, wherein we have multiple values in product subcategory for that category key, and we have unique value for product category key in product category table. Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will be one to one if it would have only one values. Like let's say in this table also product category would have only one instance of each category key, then it would have been one to one relationship. But in this case, since it's repeating its multiple values, it's showing me many over here. So that's why it's one to many.
Okay.
Okay, so we can anytime we can have like one to one relationship, like I'll show you in the case wherever there is no repetitive value, then it will be one to one. But that is if there is one to one relationship, that is something which won't make sense, uh, because if there is one to one relationship, we could have used that values in the same table. So don't worry about all those things. Maybe later on, if we have some examples of one to one, I can show you and then discuss like why one to one is not recommended or why many to many is not recommended. But in this case, one to many is something, or in all the cases, like whenever you create a modeling view, it's always recommended to create one to many relationship. Okay.
So what? Okay, but I thought it happens that way. You don't create that. It
Yeah, it will
the
happen.
one
It
to
will
many
happen.
instance happens
Correct,
by
correct.
default.
Yeah, it
Okay.
will automatically happen one to many, but you will have like option, right? If let's say I go here, then I edit one of the relationship, right? So it will give me options over here. Let's say I connect.
Oh.
In this case, it will not change because it has, see, the cardinality you say isn't valid for this relationship because they know that there are multiple values in other table,
I
right? So
see.
it will be one to many, but there are options. In several cases it might happen that you select other and it will work, right? And in this case
Mm.
it's not working, but in other tables it might happen. But it's always uh, correct to actually have one to many relationship.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yeah, no worries. One to many or many to one? Many to one means the first table has many values and second table has one value. Since first table is sales table here and second table is territories, that's why many to one. But many to one and one to many is same. It's just that which table is selected at the top. If sales table is at the top, that's why many to one we have selected here. If we will select territory top and sales bottom, then it will be one to many. But both means same. Just that the way of writing this, right? I'll click OK. So this is how we have created the relationship, right? So I think we are good. There is one more fact table or data table that is there, which is returns table that we need to pull and then just do few things. Otherwise, I think I have covered basic concepts of creating a relationship and all those things. So I think we should be good. Just that I think we will take like 10 minutes more, 10-15 minutes more actually, because there are few concepts also. uh I can cover it tomorrow, but yeah, so mostly we have covered relationship. And now in next session it will be like, let's say, half an hour we will discuss these things, and then we will go to the DAX part. Like we will discuss how to write DAX queries, and then what all different types of DAX queries and all those things, right? Calculated columns, measures, what are the differences. So basically, this is what we have in the modeling view, and we have covered almost all the concepts, and I think we should be good. There's like only one table that needs to be imported and few things I wanted to discuss. So we can do it in our next session. So before
Uh,
wrapping it up, any questions? Go on, Aklilu.
yeah, can you show for us many to many relationship? This is one to many relationship, right? So
Yeah,
is there any chance for a many to many relationship? And we
exactly.
need,
So I will talk about many to many relationship as soon as I pull the other table, the other fact table, return table. So many to many relationship I'll cover in the next session, because here I can't do many to many because there is no other table in which the same key is repeating multiple times. So even if I go to manage relationship and I, let's say, select any of the table, do edit, and click on many to many, it won't allow me to do, because this value sales has many value of customer key, but customer lookup has only one instance of customer key. So it will not show you here, but I'll talk about many to many in other class. That's why I will pull like one more data table, which is returns table, right? So then we will discuss many to many in the next session. So modeling part is a little bit remaining, maybe like half an hour session more, and then you will get to understand what is many to many and like one to one also. Like,
I have one
yeah,
question for you.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. Aklilu, did I answer your question? Like, like we will
yeah,
discuss that many to many in next session. Like today, we don't have imported the data, so here I can't show you many to many how it works, right?
okay, okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem. Yeah, go on, Hanan.
I was just gonna say, will we go back to the visualizations page
Yep.
where, because I think the fields part where we,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna hold you up right now because I also have to go myself, but I do want to spend a little bit more time here. I don't know if you're done. We are not done on this part, right?
No, 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 we have not done. We are not
Have
done
you
that this
okay,
part.
okay.
We are
Yeah, because
we are
I know.
just right now covering the modeling part. Then we will cover the DAX part, and then we will come back to the visualization part.
Perfect. Then we can
This
cover
was,
it.
yeah, this was just to show you like how the relationship
Yeah,
is changing the data, right?
correct. Before and after
Yep.
the
So
modeling was.
before creating relationship, the same number was repeating multiple times. But as
Yeah,
soon as we created relationship, it is showing the correct number. Why it was repeating? Because the product table was not aware about the sales table, that any such kind of table exists, and that's why it was repeating multiple times, right?
all right. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we are good with today. Any more questions, anyone?
No.
Okay, if no question, then we will close the session for today. I'll ask Ravi to upload this class also. And you guys, I have shared all the actually all the data sets with you guys, and also like the demo dashboard that we had discussed till last class, so that you can refer also. Today, what I'll do is I'll share these 4 questions also with you guys, these 4 or 5 questions, so that you can like quickly have a look and then practice if you want from your end. Uh, yeah, and then we'll meet in tomorrow's session.
So the demo dashboard data set, I don't think that opened anything for me from what I can remember. I'm trying to open it now.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Let me know what you find.